Well, this is a project car that I don't expect to be repeated again because this Mazda CX5 2.5 is sold in very, very limited numbers in this country. So it wasn't really a great seller. The more that got sold is actually the 2.5 one, and after it's the diesel one. This one's the top of the line 2.5 all-wheel drive that nobody seems to buy. But I might as well make a video out of it because everything that we're going to be doing here is also applicable to the 2-liter CX5 and the 2-liter Mazda 3. So we'll start by removing the stock exhaust, and we'll start by baselining the whole car, see how much power it makes. So what he wants is actually a nice Australian old dude who's decided to retire in the Philippines. So he's buying this as his daily car. He's gonna be settling in Davao eventually. We'll do a full exhaust, and the only request is that it doesn't have to be. The only request is that it should not be that much noisier than stock. So we still want a bit of rumble in that, but definitely not racing, noisy. So that's what we'll be doing, and we're gonna give the car the once over. I'll point out the things that are particularly important when you're gonna buy a second-hand car, because they bought this one second-hand with about 44,000 kilometers on it. So we told this, well, might as well give it the thorough checkup before we drive it home to Davao for about 2 days. So yeah, let's get started on it. We have the stock header out. It looks the same as every other loop header we've seen that the Skyactiv engine has. So primary runner, secondary runner, it loops around here. There's the catalytic converter, then goes back there. The reason why they do this, I explained in depth in my other video, which you can find the link below. But the long and short of it is that they are able to have a semi-long tube runner configuration in a tighter space. So they just make it loop around because they want this primary runner to be longer, and this to have a secondary runner here also. So this effectively is a 4-to-1 long tube header. Well, we know we can do better than that, so that's why we came up with this one, our long tube header also, which is also a 4-to-1 design with a bigger secondary collector that also loops around. So when you uncurl this whole thing, this is an additional 2 feet over in that direction, which again gives you a proper long 4-to-1 header. The big difference is that what Mazda did with this, instead of shortcutting it, most engines when you go from say 1.3 to 1.5, the easiest is just to increase the stroke. So you'll have more displacement. But Mazda being Mazda, they did it the hard way. They increased the bore. So what happens is, this is the gasket of the stock, and this is our 2-liter one. What ended up happening is, you place it here, as you can see, it's spaced a bit further apart. So that means simply, instead of increasing the stroke, they increase the bore also. So this engine, this 2.5, is physically, give or take, an inch longer than the 2.5 one. So that's how it is. So instead of this size, they made it like that size, which is the correct way, because they want to preserve the stroke also. They don't want a very, very long stroke engine. So that's the reason why. And we're going to be making a new flange for this one. So we're going to cut all of this apart. Then when the new flange comes in, we're going to adjust these. Well, we're going to adjust all of it. The only thing that, yeah, we're going to pretty much adjust the whole thing. So all of this will widen a little bit. That actually has no bearing on performance whatsoever. So we'll still be using this particular design. Then, like I said, we already dynoed it stock. We'll dyno it after with just the exhaust and see how much more power we get. So take out your pen and paper and list this down. As with every second-hand car purchase, the thing to check is almost always, well, not check, but just replace it right away when you get the car. all the fluids. As long as still we're driving internal combustion engines powered by gasoline or diesel, we have radiator fluid, we have the oil inside the engine, we have transmission fluid. For this one in particular, I think this is a CVT. If not, let's check the manual. If well, there you go. If you're not sure what kind of fluid that you have, best to just check the manual. Since I know what I'm talking about, I'll just check Google. So I'll just type automatic transmission fluid Mazda CX5 2018. Well, apparently it is a normal transmission. It's not a CVT. It's not a DSG. Yeah, APL, manual transaxle, APL, automatic transaxle fluid Mazda original ATF FG. Okay, so it is. So these things come with a normal 6-speed automatic transmission. So not CVT, not DSG. So that's good to know because that's important. We've had a few instances here where the person buying the car has no idea what they bought. So they assume that an automatic is the same everywhere. So they bought, maybe I think it was a Honda Jazz. So instead of CVT, they threw in automatic fluid. Less than 100 kilometers later, transmission is dead and gone. So these things are very important. If you don't know, you ask or you read the manual. It should be there when you buy it. So that's the transmission fluid. Brake fluid is over there. Might as well change it and bleed the brakes. This is the overflow bottle. You do not put water in there. You put water in here, not there. Then the next thing you check, or might as well just already from the get-go, change brake pads, which are here. Can't really see them now since they're still in the car, but from the looks of it, there's still a good 1/2 of it left. But we might as well change it anyway. And of course, tires. And this car is kind of okay because it comes with 2 sets of different brands of tires, one in the front, one in the rear. And we'll show you the front tires here. These are, well, this is not so good anymore. It'll still work, it'll still roll, but it's not as deep no more as a new tire. So you can see here, they usually use the coin test here, but since I don't have any coins, we'll just use the card. All we need is a reference anyway. So you put it there, see how deep the thread is. See, it's not very deep. It just reaches up to that logo over there. But when you come to the back, you have a set of nice, almost fresh tires, and there, see, that's a lot thicker than the ones in front. So you want something this thick. He also wants to change all 4 sets anyways. So might as well. And one of the best ways to check a car actually if it performs well or not is you bring it on a dyno like what we have there, because that will determine if the car is making the correct amount of power, and if it's a turbocharged car, we will also be able to see boost. So that will preclude any engine. There's one thing you can check. You can visually check the tires, you can visually check the level of fluid, but you cannot check engine performance by driving it or just by looking at it. So putting it on the dyno is the best indicator if the engine is healthy or not. right, we're done with our 2.5 CX5. So this is what it looks like from the outside. It's just a slightly bigger tip though. There's two MagnaFlow tips here. There's two MagnaFlow mufflers here each. And then you can really peer underneath. We have a mid silencer there, and we have another silencer in the middle. So to crawl underneath here, we actually have two silencers because the one who'll be driving this is a girl, and we all know that women do not like loud noises. So we basically have that one there and another one there. So this is pretty much close to stock sound. Of course, it's not as quiet as stock, but it's a very, very happy compromise, and we'll show you how it sounds like. See? Barely imperceptible. But when you rev it, there's that really deep sound over there. And of particular note here in the Philippines, we actually have a motor vehicle inspection service where you have to have your car brought in for inspection, make sure it's roadworthy, and one of the tests is the decibel test. The test procedure is you have a decibel meter half a meter away from the exhaust pipe, and then the engine gets revved to 2.5. It passes if it's 99 decibels and below, so if it shoots to 100, that means you fail. This one will definitely pass the 99 decibel test, so what we'll do is we get another dude to rev it. Hey, rev mo. Rev mo ng 2.5. So this is about half a meter. Oh, that will definitely pass. It's only like 84, 80, 90. Okay, this is a definite pass then. Okay na. So no problems with registering here in the Philippines with this exhaust setup, definitely not. Power-wise, we can go look at the dyno chart. Well, before that, let's look at what the header looks like underneath the engine. Well, visually, you don't really see anything. You don't see a lot because the header is here at the back. Most people mistake these four things as the header over here. Say, oh, the header is now made of plastic. No, it's not. That's the intake. It's totally different. So the only way you can get a view of the header is through here. So there it is, all its beauty. That loop header over there. No check engine with this one. We do have an oxygen sensor extension, and this is already remapped. Let's go to the dyno chart, and AZ1244. Our dyno chart, and then the explanation is this one. This green line is stock, so you might be wondering why the hell is it only 130? Isn't the CX5 supposed to make something like 180, 185 wheel horsepower? Well, yes, it does, but that is crank horsepower, wheel horsepower, and this is also a four-wheel drive, so that's 50 horses out the window. It's slightly more efficient than the Subarus because they get 60, 65 horses out the window. So this is not so bad. This is not so bad. And then this is the exhaust. So this orange line is the exhaust over here. So from there we went from 130 to about 145, so 15 horses. And this blue line is the remap. So from 145 we went up to 160. So total wise we got about 30 horses more on this area. Torque also. It doesn't dip as much anymore, and it basically, we smoothed out the graph. This actually just jerks because it's on the dyno, but on the road it doesn't mean the graph that's like that, the car goes like that, like that, like that. No, the power delivery is a lot more smoother. So basically we got about 30 horses overall, which is not bad for a natural aspirated car, and that's pretty much what we expect. So again, everything that we do here is applicable to 2-liter Mazda, so the Skyactiv ones, Mazda 3, CX3, CX5, even the Mazda Skyactiv 1.5 is applicable.